Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan bikum. Welcome to the Al Yamama CEO dinner. This is a very beautiful crowd, and I'm so happy to be with you here. My name is As'ad Al-As'ad. I'm the head of communication at Al Yamama University. I'm a faculty member, in addition to so many other roles that I do at the university that I really love and I consider my home. Tonight, we would like to welcome you all on behalf of our president, Professor Hussam Ramadan, to the first CEO dinner, which is organized by the university to the postgraduate students and alumni. And if you would like to ask, why are we organizing a CEO dinner? Well, I believe the answer is very obvious. Al Yamama University is meant to empower its students and its alumni, not only through the educational programs which we strive to provide and to design in the most up-to-date way that enable and empower the students, but also by providing them with opportunities to meet with the people in the field, to meet with the decision makers and the shapers and movers of the market in order to learn from their perspective firsthand. So this is why the CEO dinner. In a nutshell, we are organizing this CEO dinner, and we hope that maybe, if I'm not too ambitious, in the next 5 years, one of our postgraduate students or alumni is going to be a CEO dinner, which we will proudly invite to stand here and speak. Why Al-Mala'i? Well, I believe also the answer is obvious, because of the significant value of its name in the market. It has ranked at number 33 in Forbes' list of 100 innovative companies globally, and for its tremendous reach to 42 million consumers daily. This is helping the company achieve massive sales of 13.9 billion riyals in 2017. And for us at Al Yamama, it also means a lot that Al-Mala'i is a leader in its corporate social responsibility, supporting education, scientific research, innovation, environmental sustainability, and in addition to the numerous awards it offers to encourage innovation. Let me now turn to introduce our guest, Mr. George Chaudhary, the CEO of Al-Mala'i. He has been CEO since 2015, but prior to that, he was a CFO between 2004 and 2011 when he became the CEO. And being in Saudi all this time, since 2004, I believe we can easily now call him, having been very engulfed in this market, we can call him probably George Ibn Chaudhary. He is a leader who leads an organization that employs 42,000 people from 68 different nationalities, cultural backgrounds, and ethnic backgrounds. Therefore, to him, leadership means respect to everybody. He believes there is no small people in the company, and he believes in his people's empowerment. These are just few of the features of his leadership style, which we are very curious to learn about firsthand from him. And in addition, he is very open to challenges. I was trying to gather some information to make this introduction, and I found that he likes to take challenges. In 2014, he took the Ice Bucket Challenge. You can find it on YouTube. His speech is going to touch on the business environment in Saudi Arabia, and he's going to speak about the 7 guiding principles of leadership. But before I invite our guest speaker to the podium, I would like to draw your attention to our agenda tonight. First, the guest speaker will be giving a presentation for 35 minutes, to be followed by a Q&A session, which will be moderated by Mr. Isa Al-Aghila, the Director of Admission and Student Recruitment at university. After the Q&A session, we would like to invite all of you, everybody here, to the stage in order to take one large family photo as a token in this event. And after the family photo, we would like you to enjoy your dinner. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me to welcome the CEO of Al-Mara'i, Mr. George Chaudhry.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure and honor to be here tonight. It's new for me to be able to say ladies and gentlemen, because for a long time also at Al-Mara'i there was only men. But fortunately in the last few years we have been able to employ ladies, and today we have, I think, roughly 850 ladies working for us, and I think this is very good for the company. So tonight, I would like to say something to start with about me. Then something about Al-Mara'i. I will use a 3-minute video to give you insight about this great company. Then talk about the business environment, my 7 guiding principles and some learnings and experience, and as we have heard, at the end we will go to a Q&A session. I'm a simple Swiss accountant with an MBA from IMD in Lausanne. I worked in 3 companies in my life. I worked 18 years as a CFO, 3 years as a Chief Operating Officer, and since 2015 as a CEO of Al-Mara'i. I work in the aluminium business. Aluminium business is a very volatile business, capital intensive. You have 3 good years and 4 bad years, or the 7-year cycle. Then I moved to the airline industry. Airline industry is even worse. Out of 7 years, the first 5 years is a disaster. Because you squeeze your people to take cost out, then the 6 years is coming, it's a good year, and then the 7 years should also be a good year, but because the people want everything back, you have taken away from them the first 5 years, the 7 year is a bad year also. So, I don't know if you know, in order to become a millionaire in the airline industry, you make a better start as a billionaire. Then I had the privilege to join Al-Mara'i in 2004. At that time, the company had 4,000 people. We were making 1.8 billion turnover. It has been an amazing company. I remember I met at that time CEO Abdurrahman Al-Fadle in London for an interview. Then he invited me to come. I had the chance to come to Saudi Arabia, and I have to say I've been impressed about what I saw, and I decided to join. Then we IPO'd the company, and between, say, 2004 2015, it has been an amazing time. The growth in this country was fantastic. So I have to say I've enjoyed every minute I had the chance to work for Al-Mara'i. Can you press on the yes? So Al-Bahai is the leading food manufacturing and distribution company in the Middle East. We have a duty and a responsibility to provide quality food to our consumers every day. The heartbeat of Al-Bahai is quality you can trust. Quality was, is, and will remain at the top of everything we do. And we will never compromise on quality. To sustain the growth and ensure continuous supply of fresh product, in effect, to contribute to the food security in this country and in the GCC, Al-Bahai has been bold. Over the last 15 years, we have invested close to 30% of our revenue in infrastructure to meet consumer need. This investment level, of course, places great pressure on the company to deliver results, but also build the security of supply for vital food and beverage product. What it is important at Al-Bahai, the person who introduced me said we have 42,000 people. I think it is important. People are the key of the success of Al-Bahai. Al-Bahai's success does not depend on one person. Yes, we had a guy called Abdurrahman Al-Fadli. He was so good that he has been promoted as a minister, but I don't believe that one person is making the difference in our company. Why we are successful is because we have dedicated people who are committed and passionate in doing every day their job. I believe there is no small people in the organization. I think this is very important. We have 68 different nationalities and everyone contributes somehow to the success of the company. When I hire people, I always ask either the driver or the T-boy how this person behaved. And sometimes when you see how certain people behave when they are picked up at the airport in treating the driver like, sorry, shit, then you know that this person is not fit to join Al-Bahai. That's for me, it's very important. There is no black box. Why we are better than some of our competitors? Because we do everything, every step, slightly better than our competitors. I think I always say, a company, when you have an idea, you will always find some stupid people who will give you money to finance your idea. But the result can only be achieved if you have good people around you. So I think it is very important, be restless in selecting the right people. And if you do a mistake, you have chosen the wrong person for the job, you have to take corrective measure. This is how Al-Bahai has grown since 1995. At that time, we were roughly a 1 billion company. We have grown until roughly 14 billion today. We are still, after all this year, mainly a dairy company, but we have added over time juice, we have added food, we have added bakery and poultry, and we are now thinking what next. As you can see, our let me say something about the business environment. This country has, 2 years ago, launched Vision 2030. I think this country is a privileged country. There is very few countries in the world who can have a vision, a long-term vision. Because in a lot of democratic countries, the leaders, they have to be re-elected, so they have only a time horizon of 4 years. Some countries, 5 years. So, you know, they start, they do something, and after half term, they have to think to be re-elected for the next time. This country has launched a vision. I think it's a fantastic opportunity to bring this country forward for the future. In one of our videos as part of the National Day campaign, we said the future of Saudi Arabia is not its oil, it's young people who will lead and transform this country over time. Now we are in a difficult environment today. Why? Because this country is doing some change. And when you do change, you have first to go through the pain. I always say you cannot make an omelette without breaking eggs. So the change, if you do change in the company, you go through a pain, you go through a transformation, and that's not easy. That's where the country is today, and we have to live with that, and we as a company, we have to contribute to that. The business environment we are in is tough. As a food company, we are depending on the number of mouths or stomach, because the more people, the more product we will sell. And this country has sent back a lot of expat people because maybe less project, because of the some expat have sent their family home as a consequence of the introduction of the expat tax. But also as a supplier of the GCC country, overnight we have lost a country, and we have to live with that. As a company like Almarai, we need to continue to focus on three things. Almarai stands for quality you can trust. We need to continue to work on quality. Secondly, we need to work on our cost, because cost is key. If you are a cost leader, you will survive. And thirdly, I think we need to innovate. We need to bring new product, new ideas to the market to grow our top line. Let me say a few things about my guiding principle. I think it is very important that you have a motivated team of people. If you motivate your people, you will get much more than if you treat them as just a number in your company. And Saint-Exupéry was saying, if you want to build a ship, don't drum up people to collect food and don't assign them tasks and work, but rather teach them to long for the endless immensity of sea. So you have to give them, make them part of a dream. As a CEO, you have to let your people know where you want to go, why you want to go there, and also tell them what is for them. And I think you have to make them part of the solution. This is, for me, very, very important. Change management. Change management, it's key. I mean, today, change cannot be managed, cannot be ignored. We cannot oppose change. I think we have to realize that this is a new agenda. Every day, we have to change. Is that in our professional life, in our private life, I think quite important. Make it happen. As for the future, your target is not to foresee it, but to enable it. I think it is very important. Still too often, we have who is doing what, and the when is nowhere. So I think it is important that we are a culture of execution, because if you don't change, somebody else will change you. So execution is very important. As a leader, you have one role to play. There is on our road a lot of obstacles that we have put ourselves, and you need to have like a broom. You have to take these obstacles away, because these obstacles make your life difficult. And I think it is very important that as a leader, you have to break down the silos. You have to eliminate all this bureaucracy that you have very often created yourself. So I think it is very important that you challenge your organization on a regular basis and do that. I mentioned cost management. You know, costs are like knives. You have to cut them regularly. This is my preferred quote. Everybody at Amahai knows that. Every morning as the sun rises, a gazelle wakes up. It knows that it must outrun the fastest lion or it will be eaten. Every morning as the sun rises, a lion wakes up and he knows it must outrun the slowest gazelle or it will starve to death. Regardless of whether you are a gazelle or a lion, when the suns come up, you better be running. I think this is very important. Time to market. Be quick. You know, sometimes we do project and it takes ages to deliver. I take an example. Between the 24th of July and the 9th of August 2020, there will be the Olympics in Tokyo. If you are an athlete, you have to prepare for that date. You cannot say, I will be ready only for September. Sorry. You know, if you want to go to the Olympics, you have to start your preparation now. And I think also in companies, when you do a project, sometimes you have to accept that there is a deadline and you have to work for this deadline. Too often we say, oh, it will take us 6 months, then the 6 months turn to be 9 months, then the 9 months to be 1 year. And I think this is something that we need to do a better job. I mean, for me, time to market, be quick is very important. If I look at Almarai, we have been investing a lot of money. I said to you, between 2004 and 2015, we have invested 30% of revenue in new infrastructure, in new logistic and everything. I still believe it is also important you invest into your people, in training, in education, in growth. And Lao Tzu was saying, give a man a fish and you feed him for 1 day. Teach him how to fish, you will feed him for a lifetime. I think it is very, very important. As you as a CEO or as a leader, you have to love your people. You have also to love having your people being promoted. You have to ensure that your people are successful. And you should not be sad if you have to give them a raise, because that means that they have done a good job. So once again, the people are very important, and without your people, you will not be where you need to be. Allow for mistakes. Only people who do mistakes normally work. I mean, if you don't work, you don't do mistakes. So, I mean, of course, you expect your people not to repeat the same mistakes every day, but we learn learning by doing. And if we do a mistake and you start to think why, then maybe you will improve and you will maybe over time realize that you will be better. I think also enjoy. We don't celebrate enough. There is here, John Ruskin was saying, sunshine is delicious, rain is refreshing, wind braces us up, snow is exhilarating. There is really no such thing as bad weather, only different kind of good weather. And I realize that because coming from Europe, you don't like rain too much. When you come to Saudi Arabia, you have the impression that rain is the things that the Saudi love most. Recently I was in Salalah in the south of Oman, and the people enjoy when they have rain for 1 week because this one. So what I'm saying, there is always a way to enjoy. And I think it is very important that you celebrate. You go to work every day, have fun, enjoy, because if you know the work you spend most of the time in work, you need to have a positive environment and find always all possible way to win. And there are small victories every day, all the time, and make this event like a opportunity to celebrate. Let me add a few things about some learning. When I was young, at the age of 36, I've been promoted CFO of a Swiss publicly listed company. And I remember my boss at that time, he called me and he told me, you know, if you want to do something, you know I'm against it, do it and keep me posted. But don't ask me, and in case I say no, you do it. Always look forward, never give up, never give up. I mean, you will be, you will not be successful the first day. I take an example. Almarai has been born in 2009. We decided to invest to go into poultry. We acquired a company in the north of the country called Hadco, and it took us ages to turn this business around. We lost between 2009 and 2016 1.5 billion Saudi riyal. But we knew we will one day have a solution. This year, in 2016, our poultry business was losing 270 million Saudi riyal EBIT. This year, we will have a positive EBIT of above 200 million. So never give up, work hard and address the problem, and you will get successful. Remember, if you are in a difficult situation, the wheel is turning. After the winter, one day, spring will come, summer will come. Sometimes you have also bad summer, but that's part of the game. Accept and recognize differential culture and bad news, good news. Bad news, good news is what I've learned as a CFO. When you discuss with your people, they will never talk about the bad news. Never, nobody will talk about the bad news. If they have something, they will try to keep it under the carpet or under the table. But if they have good news, you know, in March, they will tell you, oh, this year I have something fantastic. Cut by half, because when the good news will come in October, it's only a percentage of what they said to you in March. And be aware that they have maybe under the carpet some bad news that they will have one day to reveal to you. So and I think it's important that you work as a team because you don't want to happen. At the end, what is the role of a CFO? The role of a CEO is to work on the vision, on the strategy, and lead the company. Once again, for me, have the right people at the right place. The biggest mistake I've done in my career is I have tolerated the wrong people at the wrong place for too long. If you have that, you need to take corrective action. Build on excellence. Have a lot of respect for the people around you. Sometimes you are very good people, like in football. You have people who are fantastic, but sometimes you are also toxic individual. Eliminate these people because they generate such a negative energy. So you need to make sure that you have people who are capable as adding value to the team. Feedback, I think feedback is important. I know in this environment we don't like to talk about our weaknesses. We say room for improvement. That's okay. But I think it is important that you as a leader, you give feedback to your people, but also that you seek feedback back from your people. Only doing so, we will be able to improve going forward. Energy, I think, is important. That's the fuel for performance for a leader. And as a leader, you have to energize your organization and make sure that your people also do the same with the others. Execution. This is something also very important. You never, you know, it's in life, you never have 100% right, 100% wrong. There is a lot of decision that you take in the gray area, 60% right, 40% wrong. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you are 60% right or 40% right, it doesn't matter. The moment you have taken decision, please implement this decision. And this is very often you take a decision, you never implement it, and at the end of the day, there is you lose the dynamics within the company. So for me, execution is important. Who is doing what, when is also important. Not only who is doing what, and the when nobody knows. So there is a book I can only recommend to you, The Discipline of Getting Things Done, from Larry Bossidy and Ram Charan. It's an old book, but still very important. Keep also in mind the game changer. If you are in a company, it's easy to become complacent and to say we are good. Oh yes, Al-Mahai, we are the champion, we are the leaders. But there is you as a CEO, you need to challenge your people. You need to be a kind of coach. Sometimes you have to be a disruptor. There is also a book called Clean Disruption from Tony Shiba. From Tony Shiba, there is also some video where he demonstrates that disruption is not something new. Disruption happened already at the beginning of this century. One of his video he shows, he said, in New York, Fifth Avenue, there were, in 1900, there were horses and one car. 13 years later, there were cars, only one horse. So in 30 years, at that time, there was a transformation. And we need to be aware that the world around us is not static, it's changing. And we need to be prepared for this change. And finally, I think in business, no risk, no business. And if you are not willing to take a risk, it will, so sometimes, you go to your board and they say, too risky and so on. But at the same time, without risk, no business. If Al-Mahai would not have invested in the chicken, would not have invested in the poultry, in the bakery, we will not be where we are. And if Prince Sultan in 1977 will not have sat together with some Irish entrepreneur, Al-Mahai would not have existed. And today is a flagship of this country, and sometimes you need to be bold, you need to take a risk, and make sure you create opportunity for the future. So that would be my contribution. I think I am more or less in the time, and I've said there is maybe some people who have questions.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Chaudhry. I'd like to invite you now, Mr. Lisa. I think we will keep this for some 12-15 minutes, and after the Q&A session, which will be moderated by Mr. Lisa, and Mr. Chaudhry will take your questions. We are going to have the group photo and then we'll proceed to it. So, Lisa.
Thank you, Asad. And thank you, George, for this important presentation. We will go directly with the questions and answers here. And just to break the glass, and I told you that I'm going to ask the first question, and allow me for that. I was preparing these questions for you. I'll just ask actually one question. George, we know that Marai had to face boycotts twice. And upon raising the prices of products, mainly the raw products, the milk and the lemon. We are curious to know, how did you see this from your perspective as a CEO, and what was your strategy to deal with it, especially once you see the weekly sales reports and monthly sales reports, and we hear that from your competitors, they got a little bit high sales those months when you did raises of the prices.
Okay. We decided, or not we, I mean the environment we are in, make sure that the costs are increasing. And as you know, Almarai stands for quality you can trust. We increases the price of milk last time in 2008. We tried in 2011. The government asked us to take the price back. I think we did it the second time. 2 years later, the same thing happened, and this time we had to do it. We increased the price of 25 alala per liter, or somewhere around 6%. And as it was expected, there was a huge campaign in the social media. Maybe the timing, we were not lucky with the timing, because at the same time the government increased the price of electricity, not by 6%, but by 200, 300 or 400%, I don't know. So look, we knew it would be painful. We knew we may lose some market share on a temporary basis, but we are not here to look for the short-term win. A price increase is necessary. On the 4th of November of this year, the government had asked us, or asked the industry, to stop production of feed and forage in this country. That means you have to import everything from abroad. This is adding cost to your system. So the price sometimes will have, price will have continued to grow. We have not increased the price for 10 years. You increase by 6%, a revolution. We are getting our market share back, and I'm glad that our competitors were able to benefit, because I think they needed some growth.
That's great. Okay, so I'm transferring around the questions for you. If you would like to, do you have microphones here, guys? Yes. Any questions? Mustafa Wazir Gardi? Here.
I'm happy to be the first one from the audience to ask the first question and the first CEO dinner to the CEO, to the first company in the market for its industry. My question about the future of Almarai. Now, after 3 years, for example, that we're going to have more population, more cows, the same earth, with less water, more regulations, changes in consumer behavior, climate change, many you can name it. My question for you as the CEO of Almarai, do you discuss those topics in the boardroom, and how are you going to prepare Almarai for the future?
As you know, Almarai is a management-led company, not a board-led company, like probably the majority of the companies. We have the privilege to have a fantastic board who normally support management. In 2016, we initiated a project which was called Project Vista, and we have transformed that in Almarai 2025. We wanted to see what's going on in the environment. It's, as I said, it's what you have done in the past is not doesn't mean that the future will be the same. We ask ourselves the question how we can develop it. In the last few years, we were focusing in eliminating the losses in the poultry and in the infant nutrition business. I'm glad to say that poultry has turned positive. We will probably deliver a 200 million EBIT this year. Infant nutrition is turning positive. We still have one child which is not doing that well. This is our joint venture with PepsiCo. And we have identified in which area we can grow. And we have identified 1 or 2 area, and probably in the next few months, you will hear that Almarai will go into new categories. Because if Almarai would not have gone into bakery, if we would not have been into poultry, if we would not have been into infant nutrition, we will not have this, been able to continue to grow. So you need not only to innovate, but you need to increase or go into new categories. what could be these categories. It could be ice cream, it could be water, it could be, I don't know what. So yes, Almarai will continue to go into different businesses. There is another question. We have a fantastic farming activity. Can we turn this agribusiness into this farming activity into an agribusiness? So there is still a lot of potential for Almarai, but yes, we need to enlarge our product portfolio. I can guarantee you we will not go into banking, we will not go into oil business, we will continue to be a food company and serve our customers in the GCC, in Egypt, and in Jordan.
We hope you're not going for banking business. So you're gonna you take the market for others. So, any other questions here in the back?
Thank you for this nice session. My question is, how will Almarai handle the consequences of raising its prices, taking into consideration that the switching cost for the customer right now is somehow low? And, you know, due to the economic situation these days, people tend to be sensitive to the price raising. And so my question, how Almarai take a decision like this, and does the market share of Almarai has been affected because of this decision or not? Thank you.
Okay. First of all, the costs are not only increasing in Almarai. I can tell you our competitors would like to increase the price, and they will. The question is when. Are we lost a little bit of market share? Yes. Will we regain this market share? Yes. And Almarai stands for quality you can trust, and I can guarantee you we will be there tomorrow in a few months' time in terms of market share where we were before the price increase. If you are the leader today in dairy, we are the leading company. Only the leader can increase the price. Do you think that NADA could increase the price? If NADA would increase the price, they would sell nothing anymore. So we, as a leader of the industry, we have also a role to play to do what the industry needs to do. That means to pass certain costs to the competitors, to the consumers. I accept also that the consumers are under a lot of pressure. Petrol has increased, electricity has increased, water has increased, VAT has been introduced, but we want to continue to be able to serve a quality product to the market. In order to do that, we have done a lot of cost cutting in the last few years. I don't know how many products have not increased for 10 years. Between 2008 and 2018, there was no increase in milk and laban. We did it 1st of July this year, and it was 25 halala per liter, or 6%.
Thank you, George. Let's have the third question for the CEO here. Yes, please.
Very nice crowd.
The middle in the back. Yes.
Yeah, Khalid Sharif. Thank you to George for the interesting presentation. My question is based on your answer in regard of the price increase. I would like to go back in the time, 10 years ago, where the Almarai continued keeping its price for more than 10 years, where we know that for the last 10 years, the inflation rate in Saudi Arabia was so high. So even though that Almarai kept the same price for almost 10 years, does that mean the first price that been set up 10 years ago was too high to accommodate all that time? By the way, I'm an Almarai consumer and I haven't stopped using Almarai even with the latest increase in price. Thank you.
I just would like to remind you, before my time, I joined this company in 2004. Before my time, a liter of milk was 5 riyals a liter. So the price wasn't 5, it went down to 3. From 3, it went up to 4, and now we are a little bit higher. So why we have been able to absorb? Because we were growing. When you grow, you can absorb the cost. We have reduced our cost, but at a certain point in time, you have also to adjust the price to the market, and that's what we have done. And in 2008, we wanted to increase the price, but the government asked us to come back. 2011, sorry.
It seems, George, that all these are Marai consumers. They're asking for the prices. So,
70% of the people in this country buy Al-Mahai, so I assume also 70% of the people here are Al-Mahai consumers, and I would like to thank you all for being Al-Mahai consumers. And for the other 30%, try once, you will like it.
okay, we'd like to have another question. Yes, please. Dr. Safwan.
Good evening. Al-Marai is a company, it's a success story. You started in Saudi Arabia and now it's covering all the region. And as a consumer, I can see that Marai products are of equal, if not better quality than other European competitor products like Lubac, Danone, President, and others. And they're even sometimes less in terms of price at the supermarket shelves. My question is, now after successfully going to the regional market, is there a chance that one day in Paris, in the supermarket, I can find Al-Marai products? Paris, Rome, or in other countries, in Europe, for example?
I like this question.
As part of our Vision 2025, we have said Al-Marai would like to grow, we would like by 2025 to have 30% of our business in a new category and new geography. We are looking at new geography. It's not that easy. For me, Iraq would be the perfect fit to go. I mean, we could take Al-Marai, Saudi Arabia, do a copy-paste in Iraq, and who want to go to Iraq? As long as the CEO is not willing to go, I will not send people to Iraq. And I'm always saying, you know, you as a CEO, you have to, if you don't want to go, don't ask your people to do. Iraq is definitely a country we would like to go over time, but I'm not so sure we are ready to go there. I just wanted to take an example. As you know, the southern border here is always a little bit disturbed by some missile who are coming from the southern border. I, as a CEO, is visiting Najran on a regular basis, because how can I expect people from us to serve our customer there if I am afraid to go there? And the same thing with Iraq. Today, I am not so sure I would like to go and work in Iraq. So how can I ask them? Now, we are in Egypt. I believe Egypt is a very important country for us. There is a lot of mouths, 100 million. Not all the people can afford our product, but we believe over time there will be more. And we together with PepsiCo, we have invested in the last few years close to $500 million in expanding our capabilities in Egypt. I don't see a lot of other geography here in the region where we can go. We are looking at, or maybe some Southeast Asian country could be an arena. We are doing a study, should Al-Marai have some of his product in Europe, in France, in the UK. As we know, there is a lot of Muslim people who would like to have Laban. I have no answer because we are just at the preliminary stages, but maybe one day you will find Laban in London, yes.
Okay, thank you, George. Any questions? Yes, please. Introduce yourself.
Yes, Faisal Mandil from 3DFC. You have mentioned that you're investing in people more than in products. Tell us your story in Al-Marai, how you are investing in your employees, and what success stories that you have made in your employees.
Look, as I mentioned, I always believe that if you have a good idea, you will always find a stupid guy to give you the money to realize this idea. But you need the good people to make it happen and to make out of idea a profit. we have sent our top 500 people in assessment to Korn Ferry because we want to identify. We know the performance of these people. Are these people good performers or not? Sometimes we don't know their potential, and we would like to identify that. And if the people have potential, we need to invest and to send them to seminars, to courses, to further develop their potential. In the last 2 years, we have sent 120 people of Al-Marai through IMD courses, various modules. Some were here in Saudi Arabia, some were in Lausanne. We will continue to do that not only with the top 120 people, but also with the next. And we have a lot of programs. We have a Future Leader program. We have graduate program. We have in Al-Karj, we have the Polytechnic, Dairy, and Polytechnic, and also we train technician, electrical, mechanical technicians. So we do a lot. Is that enough? No. I think we need to invest more, and that's definitely something we will continue to do in the future. Not only to invest in factories and in trucks and in equipment.
Okay, let's have the last question here. Yes, please.
Abdulaziz Al-Mikhan, Social Development Bank CSR General Director. Where is the corporate social responsibility programs in Al-Marai future plans, and what's the most value project you work on?
So as you know, we sponsor a certain number of university, the VET, all these things, and we will continue to do so because we have also responsibility towards the society to continue to develop and help people. And all these things have the support of our board, and we will continue to do so.
Excuse me, sir, can you give it to me in numbers?
What we invest in this kind of CSR is close to 25 million per annum.
Okay, thank you. I'm so sorry we need to finish with this session. Asad, if you would like to join. Thank you, George, for this time.
It has been a pleasure and honor to be with you tonight. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. George Chaudhry, the CEO of Al-Marai. And in recognition of your presence, I would like, Al-Yamama would like to extend its appreciation. Let me here invite His Excellency Professor Hussam Ramadan, the President of Al-Yamama University, to offer
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And for those who would like to join us in the group photo, can I ask you to please proceed to the stage for the family photo in memory of this CEO dinner of Al-Yamama. May I request the ladies to be on the right side and the gents on the back side and on the left side, and some people will take the stage and some others will be standing in front.
Salam Shabab, Banat, Hayyakum Allah. Listen, you are all my students. This is the 9th anniversary, so I want all the alumni up here, and I also want all of my current students who will have an exam tomorrow night to come on up. Thank you also, all of the distinguished guests for coming, and to the organizers. Thank you all very much. Okay, the vertically challenged guys and Banat in the front, and the tall guys